I'm Erica O'Neill. I live in Bethel. We have a hobby farm with some 4-H animals, and specifically alpacas are my babies. And I like to spin yarn. That's my passion. And I can do that several different ways. But I like to keep my hands busy. And so then I can take it to the next step and crochet, which is my other passion. I work full time, so this is kind of like a side thing, but I really like it.
This is Mama Kitty.
I live here with my family, Brian and Wyatt and Riley, and we have all sorts of different animals. We have a pig and goats and chickens and rabbits and alpaca and dogs.
Well, it sounds like somebody's hungry.
Yes, they're hungry.
Hobby farm, we have only 3 1/4 acres, so it's not a farm that typically has production where like fields where they would be able to, you know, make money off of that. So it's more or less for our entertainment only.
She hasn't been milked since last year, so that's kind of why she's like, yeah.
But you're going to continue to milk her.
Yes,
this time.
once her babies come off of her, we will continue to milk her. Yep.
I am a crocheter since I was 15 years old. My mom tried to show me, but she was left-handed, and I never really put that together. I'm right-handed, and she used to try to show me, and I would get so frustrated, and I'd cry. And then my grandmother showed me, she's right-handed, and it clicked. All of a sudden, everything just made sense. So I have been crocheting, and I have books from my grandma, so I see that as a way of carrying on her memory now that she's gone. And I don't have a whole lot of things in my life that I can pass. I'm not a wealthy person who can, you know, oh, I'm going to dedicate this building. No, I don't have that. But I can produce things and make things that are given to family members that they'll have a memory of me when I'm gone. So I guess that's kind of how I see all the things my grandmother made me growing up that I cherish now. Some of them I use. I have some, you know, things that just, when you wrap around, that it's a hug from my grandma. And I guess I kind of see that as giving myself to the future. My grandfather made this for me. This is a yarn basket that you can put your yarn on it, and it has a little holder for the crochet hook. And
That is beautiful.
And it pulls through, and he made it pennies. That's the
Those
eye.
are pennies.
Yes, those are pennies.
Oh my
Your
gosh.
grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather made that for me, and he did all the tooling. He did leather tooling and wood tooling. I have a lot of anxiety and I don't know, I just have to stay busy and constantly moving. And one of the things that really helped me is crocheting. I guess it filled a need for me. It's something I've continued to do because it was so calming and therapeutic. And then it just became so interesting because it hooked you. Get it? Crochet hook.
I like it.
Hooked me. And you know, there's so many different colors, and the colors are so, I don't know, I love palettes and colors and how they mix, and different seasons are represented in different colors, and I just love finding different ways in nature how they go together, and then trying to mimic it. So it's become something that I know it calms me, but it also feeds my need for creating something beautiful. Noddy.
Nitty naughty.
Yep, nitty naughty. So a nitty naughty, it is basically a way to count how many yards of yarn that you have. This way, to this way. Woo. You need to have fiber. And fiber is basically hair of any animal. There's sheep fiber, which a lot of people are familiar with, and it has kind of an oil in it. I prefer to work with alpaca, which is what we have in our pasture, and it mixed with other fiber, like you could mix it with, my gosh, bamboo. I actually have a whole bunch of different little samples. Bamboo, banana silk you can make, mulberry silk. There's a variety of things that you can kind of mesh together and have the perfect recipe for what you need to create that moment, from color to texture, to lumpy bumpy to smooth silky. So you kind of have to know before you begin any of those projects. You have to have a vision. Oh, this is flax,
Oh.
So this is a plant.
Yeah, this is flax.
I like to have a vision, an idea, because I feel a lot of self-fulfillment when I get to the point where I'm finished. You can purchase the fiber that's already blended for you and cleaned and dyed beautifully, or I'm just beginning my journey into a fiber. I'm doing it on my own because the alpaca, we have 4 alpacas, and those 4 alpacas have provided so much fiber. And I'm going to try to process it myself, which is a very hard thing I am finding, but I'm hoping it's going to be, I'm trying to find my happy spot with it. So from what you have to dust, knock out all the little dust particles and kind of fluff it up, and then you have to wash it and fluff it back up again because it gets crunched down, and then you try to get all the fibers with the carders, and you get all the fibers the same way, and then you just slowly, it gets smaller and smaller until you're spinning just what you want for that yarn.
Girls.
These are my babies.
Hello. Oh, piggy too.
And that's our potbelly pig. She has an allergy, so that it means a whole lot more. I think the just knowing the whole history, the story, and the process, there's a huge investment. It's very empowering to know that you created something that would have been fine by itself, but you made it into something that's practical and pretty.
Yeah.
You have that ability to take fur off of that animal and turn it into something that you can use and consume. And then this is what I would consider a pretty typical spindle. This is a wood. It has a whorl, W-H-O-R-L, and that's kind of that's the weight that helps pull and stretch those fibers out. And as you add to it and make what's called a cob, which is the stuff wrapped around it, like that's called a cob.
After a corn cob, probably.
I guess when you work on the cob, it adds to the weight, and so it makes it easy. It draws.
Right.
When you spin, you draw the fiber. This is actually 3D printer.
It looks
drop
like
spindle.
some sort of Celtic symbol or something.
It's actually, I got it because I like zombies,
Oh.
and it's the biohazard.
Oh, it is.
And I thought it
Okay.
was cute. So what you do with this is my cob. If you remember, it was loaded onto this thing,
Right.
or on that thing. This is the cob, and you take this and you spin it, and you're spinning it around, and that is creating that energy, that twist that goes up the fiber. And then as you make the fiber, you want to get it out of the way, you just wind it on there, and then you kind of stretch and pull it out. It's called drawing. You draw your fiber into the thickness that you want, and then you just start spinning again. To touch it constantly, it's running through your fingers at all times. It's laying on your lap. As you're working it, it's going across your skin, and the motion of your hands are constantly, I don't know, it takes you to a calm, automatic response.